Good morning, friends. Long time no see, right? Cokie B and Wes and Frank and I have been in Natchez for one thing, but we've been back for several days. So there's a whole different thing to talk about there, about what's taken so long to get back on the drive. But let's talk a little bit, because so many of you have asked me, like, what's going on in Natchez? Why are you guys down there? First of all, a lot of people would like to say, oh, you're probably going to move down there. And we're always like, no. Our business and our team and our real estate business, and now one of my daughters, you may have seen the other one move to New York, live here. We're not going anywhere. You're not getting rid of us that easily. This is our home. That is our place to go unwind, have fun. That's our second home. And boy, can you unwind there. I have never seen a group better at socializing and having a party as part of just their built-in character. It's just part of the thread of who they are. And it's amazing. They are the most hospitable, welcoming, inviting people I've ever seen. And we've got amazing people here, but somehow it's just not part of our culture. And I'm talking to myself, right? As far as inviting people over, it's just what they do on an every other day basis. It's a lot. And it's amazing. So we did spend Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. So there were so many fun events you probably saw me posting about. Wes rode in the Santa Claus parade. We had a quiet Christmas Day at home with Bridger, our son, who was able to fly down for the holidays. That was wonderful. And then we had New Year's Eve plans, and then New Year's Day we had 2 invites to go to. So we laughed and said, and we're not that special there, trust me. It's not like I'm saying we did anything great. That's just how they roll. So we literally had 3 invitations that we attended events, New Year's Day and New Year's Eve. That's 3 events in 24 hours. I said that has officially exceeded our production in a year at home of socializing. So maybe it's something I need to bring here in my own life and work hard at inviting some folks. So now you're like, okay, well, at least the party season's over now that you guys are home. We got home last week. Well, not really, because Christmas ends with the 12th night, the 12th day of Christmas, and that kicks off Mardi Gras. Now, some of you don't know, I grew up in East Texas, 11 miles from the Louisiana border, so I'm very familiar in general with Mardi Gras being a big deal, but I didn't know any of the details. So the interesting thing is Natchez is known as the Little Easy, whereas, you know, New Orleans is the Big Easy. Natchez is very New Orleans culture because it's on the river, just right across the river. So it's very, very close to Louisiana, and a lot of kids go to school at LSU instead of some of the others because they're literally closer in Natchez to LSU than they are to Ole Miss, which you may not realize. So in any event, they have their own Mardi Gras. And Wes and I joined what's called a crew, Krewe, for those who aren't familiar, the crew of Phoenix. And with that, we will be participating in various Mardi Gras activities. So we've already done the 12th night, kickoff cocktail party, basically. Now, this weekend is what's called the call-out ball. And I'm definitely going to be posting some photos of that because it's supposed to be probably one of the best events of that entire season. So we're actually going to zip down there just Friday through Sunday, quick trip. But everyone said if you're going to do any of it, you can't miss call-out ball. So, of course, Miss Unprepared over here realizes I probably need a dress for that. So luckily I pulled something out of the closet, took it to have it altered, and so that should be ready to go. So that's what is going on in terms of our just day-to-day life. But what I wanted to talk to you about that is, you know, even if we've been in Natchez, why no drive? Why no drive video? Because y'all can't see it in the back seat, but I literally bought a little cell phone holder that can sit on the table, and I was like, I could do this in Natchez, but that's where it stopped. I bought the cell phone holder to sit on the table, but I didn't go any further. I didn't make an actual plan. I didn't announce and commit to a date that I would do it. So guess what? 17 days goes by and nothing happens. The main reason I have found that I have trouble, because y'all know I didn't run out of something to talk about. You know I could talk every day. This is the main reason I let myself get sidetracked or derailed. It's a little $10, $12 piece of equipment that holds your cell phone when you're driving. Obviously, it's not the one I'm using at the moment. But the simple step of getting that installed in your car will stop me from doing something I know I need to do. How do I know I need to do it? Because when I'm not doing it, people ask me about it. They ask me why I'm not doing it. So I know it's important. And yet the effort it takes to get this going is not apparently enough to motivate me. So people have asked also, am I still doing the 75 hard challenge? Yes, and I think I'm on day 44. So people ask, well, how do you do that? Are you crazy? I'm like, guys, when you hear 75 hard challenge, you need to understand, first of all, I am not training for a marathon or an Ironman. Yes, you do have to, if you guys don't know the rules, it's follow a diet, any diet, without cheating. So what's my diet? My diet is moderation. Because my whole goal this time is to do something that I can really stick with for life. My coach Mike, asked me, he goes, no, why are you doing 75 hard again? That's so extreme. You just need to make things, part of your daily routine, which is so true. And I said, Coach, I get it, but clearly I have a problem. Clearly, moderation has not been my friend. So what I found is if I can get a little extreme for 2.5 months, then maintaining is not really bad. So what happened is the first 3-4 weeks or so on 75 hard, I lost 12 pounds. Then we went to Natchez and I continued the activities. But again, my diet is just moderation, meaning eat less than you might like to eat, but don't make it so miserable that you can't maintain it, right? I gained 0 and I lost 0. I was literally like, is the scale stuck here in Natchez? Because it was within 1 pound the entire time. It was so level. But I said, you know what? You don't get discouraged. You don't give up. You just keep going. So that's what I did. Now, yesterday, of course, I get home and it knows it, and I lost 1 pound yesterday. So I'm at 13 pounds. But the most important thing beyond that is Natchez taught me that I know how to maintain. I did not really have any trouble at all maintaining for 18 days, which is pretty good. So I took that as a win. A lot of people I know, because it's tempting, would say, man, I give up. I haven't lost any weight in 17, 18 days. I quit. Well, look at it like, if I'm hanging in there. Everyone told me in Natchez, you ought to be gaining 10 pounds. Let me tell you, not only do they have great parties and cocktail receptions, they know how to cook and how to treat you. The food is out of this world. So I consider during the holidays a wash to be pretty good. So I took that as a victory. Now I'm back home. Second day back on the scale, I guess Tuesday. I've lost 1 pound. So we're back on track. But moderation is the key to everything. Here's a book I want to recommend for you guys it's amazing. It's called Tiny Habits. If you've read Atomic Habits or any of those, it's in the same vein. But I think this guy might have really written the book on Tiny Habits because he seems to be quite the expert. So one tiny habit, and this he would probably say is too big a habit, but I committed to someone that I would do a drive video this morning before I went to Caravan. You got to be specific, because my wonderful new listing, 106 West College, is on Realtor Caravan this morning. So we're excited to show that off. So much potential in that house. Wes is already there opening the doors for me. He's a good helper, helping out, get everything going and warmed up for me. He always takes care of me. And I promised I would do that. So I did. So this morning, before I got in the car and started it, I made sure I got this piece mounted back. You're probably like, why does it ever come down? Sometimes they fall down. Super annoying. Number 2, we take the car in to get work done on it. They decide that needs to come down. Number 3, anyone borrows my car, that thing's in their way and that needs to come down. So there are obstacles that will get in your way. So I just have to take those and be bigger than that and take the 120 seconds it took for me to figure out how to go get this back installed. And I did. But what Tiny Habits is all about is, what is the smallest little thing you can do to create a victory? He says creating habits is not about how many days you do it. It's not about any of that stuff you've heard. It's about emotions. It's about getting little victories. So his example is, after he goes to the bathroom, he does 2 push-ups. He started with that. And he said, that's something I have to do, find an anchor point. And he said, as soon as I flush, I do 2 push-ups. He goes, of course, now I can do far more than that. He said, but if I don't feel like it someday, or I'm sick, he goes, I can do 2 push-ups. And I continue my streak of having a win. Don't set it too high. My friend and I were talking yesterday. She said, look at all the things I've been accomplishing on my list every day, but I haven't been exercising. I said, I bet Tiny Habits guy would say, exercise is way too big. Exercise sounds like a workout, right? Because on 75 hard, we were talking about pick a diet, any diet. Mine's just moderation. And don't cheat from that. No alcohol. That's a really hard one for some people, but that's not been a big deal. For me, drink a gallon of water, So I intentionally try most days to get half of that gallon in before noon, before 9 actually, and get all of it in really before noon. Read 10 pages in a business book, not that hard. 2 workouts a day. And then weigh yourself. Actually doesn't say weigh yourself, it says take a photo, progress photo. So I do both. There's an app, you can get it. But the workouts, if you put workout or exercise, my workouts, guys, are really a 45-minute walk that I've timed out, a brisk, nice walk, which we all know is about the most healthy thing you really can do. Or I'll go for a bike ride on our e-bikes where we pedal as much as we are able and we get a little assist when we can. The goal is not to be like Rocky Balboa flying up those steps in Philadelphia. That's great if you are in such great shape you can do that. But what could you put in your schedule that you could do when it's done? And that's really what I'm working for, is testing myself to see what can I do when it's done. Because it's not about a quick fix. It's about what can I do to instill new habits. So I highly recommend Tiny Habits, because he's going to make everything so bite-sized, so small, so doable that you absolutely can do it. If any of you have tips or tricks of things like this that you're doing, I would love to hear this. Stop and think about your day. If it's time to go to bed, here's another thing. Before I was doing this, I'd be like, oh, it'd be nice to have a glass of wine at night. That's a very relaxing thing that I know a lot of people do. And I started thinking, I told Wes when we started this 75 Hard, I said, I think 90% of that is about the ritual. It's all about creating rituals, right? So I said, what can I do that creates that relaxing, calming sense of ritual, just like having a glass of wine? We're very close. And I decided to try chamomile tea. So I have a few little ginger snap cookies, something low calorie, measured out, that's going to be my end of the day treat with my chamomile tea. And I'm starting to look forward to that ritual in the same way that I would a little glass of wine. So now I'm attaching things to that. I want to floss my teeth, brush my teeth, and take off my makeup before bed. I've actually created a little bowl that I put those things in, and when the evening starts to wind down, I put toothbrush, toothpaste is in it, makeup wipes are in it, and I've got some pills I take at night. One of the things I wanted to do was check my calendar. Who has ever woken up and said, shoot, I forgot that's tomorrow? Check my calendar. So you know what I did? I wrote the word calendar on the lid of the pill I never forget to take. So use little tiny anchors to do small things that as a whole, slowly but surely, change your world. Coco is looking at me like, what is your problem, woman? Why are you talking so long? Let me get in my office. So I think she's ready to go in. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to go over to Caravan and show off 106 West College. Glad to be back with you guys. I promise to do a better job and not let this little thing get me derailed again. If you have any tips or tricks that are working for you, a small thing, or better yet, a challenge you want to start, what is one small thing? I decided as of today, if I go to the restroom, flushing is going to trigger 5 crunches. Not crunches, what do you call them? Squats. I don't get on the ground in the bathroom. That's weird. 5 squats, that's all. And he'd probably say 2, but I think I can handle 5. So that's my commitment for this day, and then we'll see if that's a doable goal that can turn into an ongoing habit. Hope this was helpful. It was so good back being with you guys, and let me know how your holidays went, and if you've got any tips you want to share on creating better habits for everyone in 2022. And in the meantime, Coco, you guys should say bye to everybody. You guys say bye. Frank's back there in his spot, so you guys can't see him, but he's back there where he sits. So we'll talk to you hopefully tomorrow. Talk to you later.